So Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1, yes, I know, Part 1, pretty fucking stupid, Netflix, if you do ask me, is out now, and, I'm not a fan. Yeah, so this video is mainly broken up into 3 things. 1, narrative. 2, I don't like John Kreese. And 3, South Park. Yes, you heard me, South Park. Just a quick general thought of the overall part of the season. This has to be, I think, the weakest batch of episodes we've ever gotten, and that it hurts to say that because you should have seen my face when I finished episode 1. This season could actually be fire, but then episode 2 starts and it's like, what happened? I think the saddest part for me is, and I'll go into my first reasoning now as to narrative, is that this season has so much filler, and I'm talking way too much goddamn filler, to the point where it's like the 15 episodes that you do have, it's like, take advantage of that. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see the guys going to a frat party. I don't need to see stuff like this. There's no reason for it to really exist other than like, oh, we didn't know what to do with this episode, so why not just do something dumb with it? And just the overall like structure, not just part wise and release, just the narrative structure of this season, it doesn't have that hold anymore for me, because at this point in the show we are using and reusing so many plot lines to the point where it's like, why didn't we just end off in season 5? And it's something that I've been seeing a lot. Season 5, people have been saying, is actually a pretty good ending. You have Terry Silver in prison, Kreese is in prison. No, he's not in prison. He broke out of prison. But it kind of felt like a decent ending for everyone, you know? Johnny has his ending, or Miguel has his ending. But then this season comes about, and it's like, okay, so, like, screw everything that happened in season 5. Here's reused plot lines and reused character beats. Enjoy it. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, how do you expect me to get shocked by this twist of Tori going to Cobra Kai when you've done it so many times? It's like, how many times do you expect me to go like, oh, damn man, she's in Cobra Kai? It doesn't work now, and it's kind of there for the writers, because look, at this point into this show, it's like, what else can you really do? Like, seriously, what the else can you do? And oh bro, wait until I talk about Kreese. But like, I will have to say, overall, for our main characters, I did enjoy a lot of what they had to do. I'm loving that we're getting more screen time of Miguel and Robbie together. I like that Sam and Tori got over their drama, and I kind of like what they're doing with Daniel this season with the whole Miyagi thing. But someone is gonna say it, and I gotta say it. I'm really annoyed by the fact that Daniel can't just let go of Mr. Miyagi like for a second, and it's been told to him so many times by this point that it actually annoys me. Like in season 2, Amanda's like, you don't have to be Mr. Miyagi, you just have to be Sensei LaRusso. And I'm like, okay, wow. So when you come to this season, it's kind of like, why is Daniel just regressing? And no, screw it. Why are all of the characters regressing? I don't want to talk about it long, because I do want to get to the other parts of this video. But so many characters this season regress. Not only Daniel with his whole Miyagi thing, which I kind of find interesting what they're doing with Mr. Miyagi. But it's like, man, I don't feel invested into it just yet, because like, you have this stupid part releases, but you also have to deal with the fact that they're regressing so many characters. Like, one thing I absolutely hate, and this got on my nerves in that final episode, is you end off with Johnny and Daniel literally going back to phase 1, they hate each other again. And it's like, how many fucking times do we need to do this? Season 4, they're together, broke up. Season 5, they're broken up, and then they're together. Now they're together, now broken up. What, like... I just can't wrap my brain around the fact that a group of writers wrote this, saw it, reviewed it, stamped it, and then handed it in and said, holy shit, this is the best season ever. And it's not only just Daniel and Johnny, it's like, I hate that Miguel and Robbie had to fight again, because Miguel is my favorite character in the entire series, and I'm always rooting for Miguel. So when you have him win against Robbie last season, and it feels like a really good win for him, it feels like closure for him, and then you have them fighting again this time, and it's a really cool fight. But why the hell didn't Miguel win? Like, I get trying to give Robbie a win, but narratively, it's so stupid that it actually has me questioning. Like, Miguel was winning 2-0. Robbie comes in, sees his girlfriend, and then gets God's gift of will, and then wins. What the fuck are you smoking? And man, I can't talk about everything, or else we're gonna be here forever. But just narratively, man, the structure of this season, and like in terms of character writing, it's all so broken for me. But you know what's even more broken? Let's talk about it. John goddamn Kreese. Holy man, I've had enough of this guy. Like, honestly, I genuinely have. Kreese in this season is so like different that it actually has me questioning if I was writing it has me questioning if I was actually watching the right show. Like, I literally had to exit out of Netflix to make sure I was watching Cobra Kai, because his entire part in Korea is all so like looking wise different, music wise different, character wise different, and just narratively different, to the point where it's like, what? Like, I can't even get into how stupid this is. If you want me to actually use logic as to why this is stupid, here's 2 examples. 1, how the hell did you get to Korea? You're a wanted criminal. What the fuck are you guys doing? And 2, this man survived a bite from a cobra. Writers, what are you smoking? And, man, oh my god, I can't. That's not even like the worst part about it. I hate how tone-wise it's so much different to like the overall season and the overall like style and tone we're used to with Cobra Kai. Because like, think of it like this: if you've watched this season, whenever you cut to Kreese, everything changes. Music, tone, style, look, everything. It's such a big switch that it has me it has me baffled, because it's like 1 second we're in a frat party with Miguel and Hawk and Dimitri, and then you have this big bombastic like nice 80s music playing in a fight, but then the fuck did I do there? But you get what I mean. You cut from something like that to then this crazy Kreese plotline, and it's like, well, why? What is the point of this? And man, Kreese's plotline is just so cartoonish and so cheesy at this point that it's like, I just don't care about this, man. Like, the whole Master Kim thing felt like a joke. The whole, oh yeah, you must go get my knife, and then, but here's the twist, you're meant to come back with a cobra head. Like, bro, how am I meant to get invested into this? Like, seriously, it bothers me so much. And I hate the fact that when Kreese does eventually get the cobra and things go back to kind of normal Kreese, it's pretty much the same Kreese we've been seeing. It's a whole bunch of students. Kreese is like, oh, this student seems like he can be fierce. I'm gonna make this guy into a demon. It's like, wow, man, really cool and all, but I've been seeing this for like the past 4 seasons now, so I don't know what you want me to really say other than like, can you give me part 2 so I can actually give you some like positive feedback on this season? I'll end it on here. I really hate the fact that Kreese, in the beginning of episode 5, is the reason why Tori went back to Cobra Kai. And I really, really hate it. Because I think the writers put themselves into kind of a really bad corner. Where it's like, okay, so we need Tori to go back to Cobra Kai. But we can't make it like a dumbass reason. But somehow it still ended up being like a pretty stupid ass reason. Because literally, the only reason she goes back is not only because Kreese would allow her, but because Tori's mom died, and it doesn't feel like it justifies the fact that she could go back to Cobra Kai, in my opinion. It feels way too dumb, and doesn't justify, again, going back. Which really brings me back to my last point, South Park. Now, one of my favorite things about storytelling is not using "and then." Now, if you don't know what I mean, watch this clip.
Found out this really simple rule that maybe you guys have all heard before, but it took us a long time to learn it. But we can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you're f***ed, basically. You got something pretty boring. What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word "therefore" or "but."
Now, well, I'll put it to you in basic terms. If you use "and then," your story is pretty much, how do I put this kindly, fucked. Which is what this season does a lot. Like, way too much for its own good. The first episode went pretty well, in my opinion. Like, let me give you an example. Miguel, Robbie, Johnny going to Eagle Fang. Therefore, they can train. But the dojo got destroyed. Therefore, he goes back to Miyagi-Do. But he cannot train at Miyagi-Do because there's a session there already. Therefore, him, Daniel, and Chosen argue. But they have finally chosen a dojo name. Therefore, they argue over the dojo name again. You see where I'm going at here. But with the rest of the season, it's a lot of "and then." Like, you have, the boys are looking for a college, and then they go to a frat party, and then they start a big fight, and then it cuts to Kreese. It's like, what happened here? And it's kind of funny because my favorite parts of the season are like really where that structure is maintained consistently, and I think they do the best of that in episode 4 and 5, where Kreese doesn't show up and it's really only focused on the Sakai Taikai. That's how you say it, and I think it's the first time I mentioned it in this episode. What the fuck am I saying at this point? It's the first time I mentioned it in this video, but that's kind of the overlooming thing in this entire season, the whole tournament. But it's that structure is where it's best consistent in episodes 4 and 5, because it's like, we must choose the top 12. Therefore, we must have them train against each other, but we need someone who isn't biased. Therefore, bring in Mike Barnes. But Mike Barnes needs to be very aggressive. Therefore, he puts them through tough challenges. You see where I'm going at. Even in episode 5, we must pick the captains for the tournament. Therefore, we have them fighting against each other. But something happens that makes Tori not like well. Therefore, once she fights, you get the whole point, okay? I'm not gonna go over the goddamn season, okay? But you see what I mean. This season's a lot of "and thens," and it gets really annoying. And man, as someone who really loved this show, it broke my heart, like finishing the season and going like, what did I watch, man? That was just like not good at all. Like, it's still really fun, man. Like, I love all the fights, and I love the music that they use. Not in Kreese's plotline, but the music overall. I love the score this season. But, like, other than that, man, I really don't know. I really didn't enjoy part 1. It's a lot of regressing of characters, overused plot lines, and overused character beats, to where it's like, why did we make this 6th season? Like, I don't know. I really need to see part 2 and 3, which I don't even want to get started on the release schedule. It's so stupid to me. But yeah, those are really my overall thoughts on Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in November. Until then, I don't know what I'm gonna do until November. What do I do, man?